going to get the package.
Who runs out of their best friend's bachelorette?
What is her job that is so important?
I am very interested to hear if there was a moment on set where you knew that Rebel Wilson is totally on par with all of these incredible action stars that you've worked with in the past, like all the Expendables, Nick Cage, like John, list goes on. Do you recall like that one moment where you watched her and went, wow?
For me, the funnest moment of that was the fight scene where she's in the bridal prep room, which with the sort of sauna and the pool and everything, and she's fighting the bad guy, and she picks up two uh, curling tongs and uses them as nunchucks. And told me she'd actually been trained in nunchucks as a teenager, so I knew she was good at that. But I'd never seen anybody use hair tongs, in that way. And so funny. And then she, the guy grabs it and he burns his hand, and she came up with a great ad lib for that, which I won't give away. But,
Yeah.
it was totally unscripted, really funny. And so that's the moment I go, okay, we've got it. She can do the action, she can do the fight, but it's also really funny action. And at the end of it, she comes up with a great one-line punchline for it. So that's the moment I think I knew that, we had a great film on our hands.
I actually am very intrigued by the fact that she was trained in nunchucks at a young age.
Yeah, I mean, Rebel comes out with stuff every day that you go, I did not know that. She's a fully qualified lawyer. She studied musical theater, so she really was a cat show logistician, I suppose, which we use in the movie. She claims to have that. She did cat shows. That's how she got into theater. So like every day she will reveal some unexpected talent that you didn't know she had. And of course, she's a brilliant actress and in dramatic roles as well as comedy, but she also a great writer and is very good at music and post-production. And so, yeah, she never ceases to amaze me during the whole thing. Always had something, unusual to tell me that she could do.
That's really fun for someone in my position as well, because it's so rare that you run into someone with so many great details about themselves. And I think that that could be true for the rest of the talented cast as well. Can you talk about is there a specific kind of signature way that you wrangle ensembles? Because you're sort of you're our group whisperer. I'm workshopping the name.
Yeah, I mean, with this one, the first thing I do with any actor or a group of actors is, I work out their style, so I can make them feel as comfortable as possible and get the best out of them because, it helps all of us. And, with Rebel and Anna Camp, they're best friends. They've done movies together. They love each other. So they were best friends in the movie and they're best friends in real life. So it was absolutely easy, getting them to stop, chatting and laughing in between takes so we could actually do the take is probably the biggest challenge because they just like hanging out together. And all the other, actresses in it were very talented comedians in their own right and could also ad lib and bring stuff to their parts. So Anna Chomsky is a brilliant ad libber and writer, and Divine Joy Randolph is a supreme actress, and she was also really funny. So someone that's won an Oscar and is a very serious actress, you don't necessarily expect to be really good at comedy, but she is. She's a incredible, and comedy is like probably the hardest thing I think out of all of these things. So you get that group together, and my job is to make them feel comfortable, and so they can riff and ad lib and have fun, and I get material. But at some point, I did have to say to them, "We have to end the scene. Somebody's got to stop talking because everybody, one person will say a line, then the other person cracks a joke, then a line." I said, like, this scene is supposed to be a minute long. It's been running for 6 or 7 minutes now, and nobody stops. One of you decide that you're having the end line because we have to get on to the next scene. So that was, the good and the the strain of it as well is that they're all got so much to give, and I've only got a certain amount of time to shoot it and a certain amount of time in the movie to put it in. But there's some great outtakes that hopefully will see the light of day one day.
I was going to ask that. It used to be that it was a no-brainer these would go on a DVD, but since the way we watch movies has changed for you on your end, like where do they go now? Is this gonna, can we see them on social later, or how is that different?
Yes, I'm sure they turn up where I guess the trick is, what's the benefit? I mean, they're just for fun now because if you can see the film anyway, it's not like you're buying a DVD and it helps you buy the DVD because you're going to see all this other cool material. I mean, it's more just for the fun of it. So I'm sure it'll be on all the channels, YouTube and social media. So it'll probably help people watch it again when it goes to stream because it's a theatrical release, which I'm
Yeah.
very pleased about, and it is definitely a group experience. The film, you want to be in a room with a lot of people watching it, so you can all laugh together. So yeah.
Highly recommend mimosas as well. And I am wondering, as we are 2 years away from the 30th anniversary of Con Air, has anyone,
Is that right?
it sure is. And as a gigantic fan, have you heard any rumblings of any kind of celebration or any kind of continuation of Cameron's story? Because I'm sure you can tell, like, I'm very obsessed all this time later.
Yeah, not really. No, I mean, I will, have my own celebration and definitely and mark the occasion. But I haven't heard of anything official. But there's a whole sort of, underground society that I didn't realize about that film where I think they hold it on a day. I think it's 14th of July because that's mentioned in the film by Malkovich's character. He reads a letter out that he says he's going to see his daughter on the 14th of July. And I didn't realize that has now become a date for the Con Air fans. So probably the 14th of July on that year, I'm sure they'll be doing something crazy.
Oh my God, fingers crossed. I'll see you there, hopefully.
Yeah.